Phones are distractions, so I don't use my phone as a timer and you shouldn't either. Hi, welcome to Better with Phoebe. I'm Phoebe and I make videos about the tips, tricks, tools, and techniques I use to get a little bit better every day. I hope this video about the best timer for productivity helps you get a little bit better too. I've always struggled with distraction, but through trial and error, I've figured out how to be consistently productive. And timers are one of the most important tools in my productivity toolbox. I am excited to share with you my very favorite timer for productivity and some of the ways I use timers to keep myself on task and productive. These are time cubes, and they are absolutely one of my productivity secret weapons. I use them every single day to stay productive and stay on task and to make progress on the things that are important to me. Using timers has made a big difference in my productivity because they've turned tasks that I normally might try to avoid or procrastinate on into a little bit of a game. How much can I accomplish in 5 minutes? Can I finish this in 30 minutes? I'll just do it for 15 minutes, and then after that, I'll do something else. It makes it way easier to stay on task and to get started on things that I might not want to start. Let's talk about 3 ways you can use timers to be more productive. The first is to force yourself to do something you don't want to do. Just make a deal with yourself. I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes and I'm going to work on this for 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. Then after that, I can do whatever I want. That's a great way to use a timer because at the end of that 10 minutes, you can make the decision to keep going. And you might, because you already have momentum, you already got everything that you need, you've already started making progress. I find that that is one of the most effective ways for me to make progress on something I don't really want to do. The second way you can use timers to be more productive is to force yourself to stop working on something that you don't want to get sucked into. This is particularly useful for work in school where you have tasks and projects that will ultimately require more time than you can devote in one session. In that case, you can set that timer for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, and then tell yourself, after that's over, I'm going to move on to something else. I use it for work almost every day. I have a lot of projects that are like that where I'm going to need to ultimately spend 4, 8, 12 hours to finish that thing, but I have to handle other demands as well. I love this particular usage for timers. The third way to use timers is to limit yourself when you're doing less productive activities. Listen, breaks are important. You need to take breaks. It doesn't matter what you're trying to accomplish. If you don't allow yourself breaks, you're gonna burn out. But you don't want those breaks to turn into massive distractions that prevent you from making progress. And timers are a great way to do that. When I first started using timers, I was using my phone as a timer. And the more I did it, the more I realized that every time I would set my timer, my productivity would take a little bit of a dip. I wasn't on a roll anymore because I stopped and was tapping to set the timer, or I would see notifications and go see what that text message was and respond to that person, or I would check social media. There was always some sort of delay or distraction between me finishing a task, setting a timer, and going back to a task. And I wanted to solve for that, and that's why I really like the time cubes. Time cube is the actual name of the product. It's made by a company called Datex, and you can find time cubes on Amazon and on Datex's website. I'll link to both in the description below. Depending on which and where you buy, you'll be paying between $15 and $36 per timer. I know that sounds like a lot for a timer, but I promise it is worth it. The timers take 2 AAA batteries, which are not included. So make sure that you pick some up. It is always the worst to pick up a gadget and not have the right batteries. Amazon actually makes really affordable single-use and rechargeable batteries in their Amazon Basics line. I'll link to those in the description, and I'm definitely going to be picking some up once these die. I like to use these for work tasks, and I really like that it's so easy to switch between work and breaks because 15 and 60 are on opposite sides, 5 and 30 are on opposite sides. 5 and 15 are on opposite sides, 1 and 10 are on opposite sides. The blue one I like to use for breaks. It's 1, 3, 5, and 7 minutes. It's perfect for a phone break or a social media break. So if I'm chipping away at a project and I want to do 15-minute intervals with 5-minute breaks, all I have to do is go from 5 to 15, 5 to 15. We've already talked about the advantages, and the advantages are huge. Being able to set it instantly is such a big deal for momentum, but there are 2 disadvantages that I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't explain. The first is the aesthetics. This is not cute. This is very elementary school. The plastic, the bright colors, it just doesn't look very nice on my desk. I don't particularly like looking at it. but it's so effective that I've just kind of come to tolerate the aesthetic issue. The other concern is there are only the 3 settings, off, low, and high. And low is not a particularly soft sound. It's still pretty loud. And this is where I work. This is my office where I do my job. This is also where I work on my personal projects, but right on the other side of this wall is my bedroom. And when my husband and my dog are sleeping in the morning when I'm working on my personal projects, I don't feel like I can use these because even on the low setting, it's loud enough that I'm a bit worried that it would go through the wall and wake up my husband, particularly wake up my dog. So I usually rely on my Fitbit timer, which does have additional steps to set it, but it's quiet. So that's how I work around it in the morning. I think these disadvantages are minor, especially in comparison to how much value and productivity I get out of using them on a regular basis. If I wanted to replace these plastic ones with the bamboo versions that Datex makes, I could do that. They are a bit more expensive. They cost $11 more than the regular plastic versions, but if the aesthetics become really important to me at some point, I do have that option. Being able to manage the sound in the morning by using a different timer, that's definitely kind of an issue, but I work around it because I use these timers all day. So just having a few hours where they're not available to me really isn't that big of a deal. However, if for you, being able to use them all the time is really important, or if you're never really in a position where you can make that much sound, these might not be the best timers for you. If you want to get the most out of your precious time here on this beautiful planet, join the Better Crew by subscribing. We're all about getting more done and having more fun. If you're already on the Better Crew and don't want to miss an update, hit the notification bell or join my newsletter in the link in the description below. Again, the links to the time cubes on Amazon's website and on Datex's website are in the description box below. Thank you so much for spending some of your precious time with me. I'm Phoebe. This is Better with Phoebe. I hope you have a great day and an even better tomorrow. Until next time.